Big tech already knows pretty much everything about you, but that's not enough. They want to know as much as they can about your children, too. A new report from the Google Transparency Project, first obtained by this program, highlights Google's aggressive campaign to have its products placed in America's classrooms. For years, Google has been recruiting teachers as partners, urging them to use Google apps in their class and promoting those apps to others. Teachers have received consulting contracts worth thousands of dollars. As teachers are won over, their school districts become collaborators in Google's marketing scheme. And one slide showed in a Jersey public school, parents were told to let their kids, quote, "Let me see what you did in Google Classroom today," instead of say, "What did you learn in school today?" Amazing this is happening. Michelle Malkin has been following it. She's a syndicated columnist and author, and she joins us now. Has there been any pushback? It's hard to think of a consumer product we'd be okay with a company pushing on our children in schools, but nobody seems to have noticed this.
Well, there is a building grassroots movement, and what's most interesting and intriguing about it in the years that I've been covering it, Tucker, is that it does cross some partisan and ideological lines. On the left, with groups like the Google Transparency Project, Campaign for Accountability, and some of the more vocal, anti-corporatization of the school type groups, they have been flagging it and trying to track down contracts and get more transparency and disclosure. On the right side of the aisle, you have a lot of grassroots education reformers who are most concerned about family and parental autonomy. And so when there are nuggets, like there are in this latest report, that talk about how Sergey Brin, the Google co-founder's mother, was advising people in these training sessions how to circumvent objections by the school district and by parents in creating Gmail accounts by ignoring the objections and having students create dummy accounts. It raises all sorts of privacy questions, as we talked about last week with data mining, but also public safety. And I've interviewed parents in Missouri, moms who are teachers, who are alarmed at the fact that they can't turn off the tracking when it comes to YouTube browsing habits, when it comes to using Google Chromebooks that are issued by the schools that then can gather information on servers within the home, collect things like medical data. It's outrageous. And you asked last week, Tucker, when we talked about this, where is Congress? A lot of Congress members, of course, take a lot of Google money. So the plain fact is they're bought off.
How bought off could they be when there's mounting evidence that technology like this harms children, severely harms? The suicide rate for kids, obviously, as you know, is way up. And they ignore that because they're taking money? I mean, that just seems completely irresponsible.
Yeah, well, it is, and that's the Beltway swamp. In a lot of cases, I think some of these congressional members are completely insulated from the problem, or they ignore the fact that it's happening to their own kids. There's a lot of hypocrisy as well, not only among a lot of these Google and Silicon Valley officials who ban their own kids from using social media, as you mentioned, but also the disconnect, I think, between the Beltway and the actual real harm that's occurring and the vulnerability that so many of these students face.
Boy, you are a really great explainer of this problem. We appreciate it. Michelle Malkin, thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Google should be deplatformed from the public schools.
Amen. That's for sure.